If the TVA was never fully Kang's creation, if the Temporal Loom didn't truly reflect Kang's vision, then it begs a larger question. Who benefits when the system collapses? Loki Season 2 ends with a bittersweet victory. Loki sacrifices himself, holding the timelines together, creating a mythic image of the god of stories weaving eternity. The audience celebrates his growth, the tragedy, the beauty. But think carefully. When one god takes on the burden of infinity, what does that mean for the others waiting in the shadows? That's where Doom enters the conversation. Because Doom doesn't just arrive when things are stable. Doom thrives on collapse. In Marvel Comics, his greatest victories come not when the universe is orderly, but when it's fractured, on the verge of destruction, when everyone else has failed. Think of Secret Wars, 2015. The multiverse is collapsing. Incursions are annihilating realities, and heroes are powerless. Doom steps in, steals the Beyonder's power, and reshapes existence as Battleworld, crowning himself God Emperor Doom. He didn't create the chaos, but he turned it into opportunity. Now reflect that onto Loki Season 2. The TVA is broken. Kang's dynasty is splintered. The sacred timeline is gone, replaced by countless branches that even Loki can barely hold together. The stage is in shambles, and when a world breaks, someone must fix it or remake it. That someone doesn't need to be Kang. It doesn't need to be Loki. It could be Doom. Let's dive deeper into the parallels between Loki's finale and Doom's destiny. First, the throne. Loki's throne of timelines is strikingly similar to Doom's throne in Battleworld. Both represent control not of people, but of stories themselves, destiny, reality, the narrative that defines existence. Loki holds it reluctantly, sacrificing his freedom for others. Doom, by contrast, would seize it willingly, declaring it his birthright. The juxtaposition is deliberate. Marvel rarely builds symbols without purpose. If Loki's throne exists, it's almost certain that Doom will one day attempt to challenge it. Second, the loom. Loki becomes the loom itself. But let's not forget machines break. Gods falter and sacrifices aren't permanent. If Loki ever fails, or if his role fractures under strain, someone will need to stabilize the chaos. That's Doom's specialty. Not preserving the old order, but forging a new one, a harsher one. He could co-opt the TVA's remnants, redesign the loom, or even usurp Loki's place as the master of timelines. Imagine Doom reshaping the multiverse not as a tree of stories, but as a throne of iron and fire. Third, Victor Timely. His presence feels almost tragic. An ordinary man, swept into the affairs of gods and conquerors, never quite strong enough to master the forces he plays with. But that's the point. His failed genius foreshadows a darker genius yet to come. Doom is what Timely could never be. A man whose brilliance isn't crippled by fear, whose ambition doesn't collapse under pressure. Timely is a broken mirror. Doom is the completed reflection. Now here's where the theory sharpens. Marvel Studios knows Doom cannot be rushed. He's too important. Introduce him too soon and he overshadows Kang. Introduce him too late, and the Multiverse Saga loses momentum. The trick is to seed him in whispers, in symbols, in machinery that feels out of place. That's exactly what Loki Season 2 did. For instance, the TVA's authoritarianism. The TVA doesn't just prune timelines. It enforces a singular order, a reality where freedom is an illusion. Does that sound like Kang? Not really. Kang wants conquest, not bureaucracy. Doom, however, thrives on rule. Latveria in the comics is a model of this. Citizens live under his watchful eye, in a state of fear and respect. But their society functions. The TVA reflects Doom's ideal writ large. Absolute order, disguised as protection. And then there's Ouroboros. His name alone, OB, the infinite cycle, the snake eating its tail, is symbolic of repetition, inevitability. Mythology, the Ouroboros represents eternity, cycles that cannot be broken. In Loki Season 2, OB is portrayed as quirky, harmless, helpful. But symbols in Marvel are never random. The Ouroboros doesn't just represent cycles. It represents something that always returns. Who is Marvel's ultimate returning villain? Doom? He never stays dead. He never stays defeated. He always returns. OB, unintentionally, may be a clue pointing to the eternal nature of the threat still to come. Here's the most chilling part. Doom doesn't need to appear in Loki to already have influence. Consider how Marvel teased Thanos. His shadow loomed for years, post-credit scenes, hints, vague references, before he fully stepped onto the battlefield. Doom could be playing the same role right now. Loki Season 2 didn't need to show his face, just needed to plant his fingerprints. Look at the TVA handbook paradox again. OB and Timely both believe they wrote it, but neither can claim true authorship. This knowledge with no origin could be Marvel's way of saying, the book's true foundation comes from someone outside the loop. Who else could fit that archetype? Not Kang. His story is finite, his dynasty self-destructive. But Doom is infinite in ambition. Doom is the hidden author of destinies. If Doom is the hidden hand behind the TVA's philosophy, then Loki Season 2 isn't just a Kang story, it's Doom's prologue. Let's take a step further. Loki Season 2 ends with hope. Loki sacrifices himself, creating balance. The timelines grow freely, branching like a vast tree of life. It's poetic, heroic, inspiring, but Marvel stories rarely end in perfect harmony. When growth explodes unchecked, when timelines multiply infinitely, the result isn't peace, it's chaos. And chaos is Doom's invitation. In comics, Doom often steps in not just as a tyrant, but as a solution. Heroes resist him, but ordinary people sometimes accept him, because he provides order when no one else can. Imagine this in the MCU. The multiverse spirals out of control. Kang's variants wage endless wars. Loki cannot hold everything forever. And into this mess steps Doom, offering stability at a price, surrender. His rule in exchange for peace. It would be the ultimate temptation. Heroes fighting chaos while the world quietly wonders if Doom is the answer. Here's the brilliance. Marvel already showed us how this works with Thanos. In Infinity War, many audiences secretly sympathized with him. He wasn't right, but he wasn't wholly wrong. Balance at a terrible cost. Doom could play the same narrative role, except instead of balance, he offers order. And the frightening part? Order feels good. Order feels safe. Doom wouldn't just be feared, he'd be worshipped. Now let's re-examine Loki himself. Loki by Season 2's end becomes the god of stories. It's a role rooted in myth and comics, the idea that Loki now oversees the narrative threads of the multiverse. But stories aren't permanent. Stories can be rewritten, edited, corrupted. What happens when someone like Doom, a man obsessed with rewriting destiny in his image, challenges the god of stories himself? The visual alone is staggering. Loki, weaving timelines into eternity, facing Doom, who seeks to seize those threads and reshape them. That isn't just a battle of power, that's a battle of narrative. Doom doesn't just want to rule reality. He wants to own the story of reality itself. Marvel might already be positioning this. By elevating Loki to such a symbolic throne, they set up a future conflict with someone who doesn't just fight him physically, but philosophically. Kang can't fill that role. Kang fights for domination. Doom fights for destiny. That's a far more compelling clash. Act 2 of our story shows us the transformation of the mystery. Loki Season 2 wasn't the end of Kang. It was the dismantling of his empire. But in that dismantling, in the cracks of the TVA, the broken loom, and the endless branching timelines, Marvel may have already whispered the name of the man who thrives in ruins. Victor Von Doom. So maybe Loki Season 2 wasn't just the story of Loki's sacrifice or Kang's downfall. It was the silent beginning of something far more dangerous. Doom doesn't need to rush into the MCU. His power lies in patience, in waiting for the board to break before claiming it. And now, with the multiverse spiraling out of control, his moment may finally be approaching. If this theory blew your mind, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more Marvel theories just like this. And if you'd like to go one step further in supporting this channel, A25 Super, thanks goes a long way in helping us craft even bigger and bolder stories. Dr. Doom isn't just coming, he's already here, hidden in the cracks of Loki Season 2, waiting for the right moment to step out of the shadows. And when that moment arrives, the Multiverse Saga will shift into something far darker, far greater and far more unforgettable than anyone expected. Thanks for watching. If you love this theory, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your Marvel friends. And for those of you who truly want to power up our storytelling, a $25 super thanks is the best way to directly fuel more content like this. Together we're building a community of fans who see what others miss.